Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Maison African Motives. Still working on mathematics N2. So in this platform guys, we shall be focusing still on that algebra that we had, but now we are going to be focusing on simplifying, actually how to simplify fractions, that is algebraic fractions. So this part we are going to focus on multiplication and division, which is one of the most important considerations that you actually need to understand or to know in your syllabus. Okay, so if you're new guys, you can consider subscribing so that you won't miss any of the classes that we shall be having from Maison African Motives. So the concept actually guys on multiplication and division, I'm going to start with multiplication. The concept is actually taken from normal fractions that we were used to before, which are not under algebra, just like something like 2/7 like this times 21/4 like this. All right, I'm going to explain from this type of fraction that we are used to when we simplify this. Yes, so most of us we use calculators, but actually this was the concept how to simplify these fractions. You were actually dividing between the numerator and denominator. There's some they say cross multiplication. This is not like cross multiplication because here we are dividing. Cross multiplication is on an equation like this. We have got a 1/4. You cross multiply the other mod. This is cross multiplication. Here we are not, there is no cross multiplication because there is no equal sign here. So you simply divide between the numerator and the, but is the like the concept that we had, but this is no longer multiplication because when you say cross multiplication, you're multiplying 7 times. Here you are not multiplying, but you're going to reduce, but using the similar concept of the numerator and denominator. Okay, but you are not multiplying, but you are reducing. That's 2 into 2, that's 1. You divide 2 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2, you can cancel, that's 2. 7 into 7, that's 1. 21 divided by 7, that's 3. So you reduce by the highest number that you can between these two numbers. Okay, so as you can see, we are left with 1 times 3. On the numerator here, the relationship is that you can multiply. So it's 1 times 3, which is 3. 1 times 2, which is 2. So in the numerator, you multiply. That's the only relationship. So this relationship is actually the one which was extended to algebra now to say that on a condition that you are given simplified question like the one that I'm having here, where you'll be given something like this, you are being asked to simplify this type of equation that we are having here. Okay, this is x plus 3 into x plus 2. This is what you're having there. Whenever you are given this type of equation now, because of the concept that we just talked about, that we have the power or we have the ability to reduce as long it's in the numerator and it's in the denominator, or even in the numerator and denominator like this, these two can actually reduce even numerator as long it is like that. You can cancel these brackets which are the same. So which means here I can cancel this x plus 3 and this x plus 3. They are the same because it's numerator and denominator, so I can cancel them. So which means here I'm going to be left with 1. Here I'm going to be left with 1. Okay, what else can I cancel? I have x plus 1 in the numerator. I have x plus 1 in the denominator. I can also cancel. So this is going to be 1 and a 1. What else do I have? I have x plus 2 in the numerator. I have x plus 2 in the denominator. These two can also cancel. So after you are done, you see that there's nothing that you can cancel. So you're going to multiply the numerators here. As you can see, in the numerator, you're just left with 1. So this is going to be 1 over. In the denominator here, we are just left with x plus 3. So it's going to be 1 over x plus 3. So because they know that once they give you a question like this, it's going to be easier for you guys. You just cancel direct like that. So what do? They ask these questions in a different version now, where you have to at least do something before you cancel those terms. You have to at least factorize there. Okay, so these are the typical questions that we have there. So I'm just gonna pick one or two of the questions from that part. Okay, so that's what we have there. All right. If you are to cross-check from the questions on number 8, then we are given something like x squared plus 9x. I'm just going to take those questions that are typical in your exam. That these are the ones that I'm going to just pick. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, that is times x squared minus 9x plus 20, like this. Everything over x squared minus 25, like this. So this is how they can ask these questions like that. Okay, so what are you going to do in such a way or a condition like this one? All right. Yes, the concept is that we are multiplying, and you can see that we are multiplying, but we can't multiply direct here. So what are you going to do? We have to at least factorize. So try by all means to factorize first. All right, that's factorize first. All right, so let's factorize, guys. What are you going to have? Okay, remember the concept, guys. The coefficient of x squared is a 1 there. So this one, you're not going to waste much time. We know that when the coefficient of x squared is a 1, we're just going to have two brackets like this. That's x and x. All right, so what do we have here? Focus on the constant, which is 20 here. What are the factors of 20 that we are going to add to obtain the middle term, which is 9? So what are the factors of 20? Two numbers that you can multiply to get 20. This is 5 and what? 4. Take a closer look on these numbers. 5 and 4. That's 5 times 4, that's 20. 5 plus 4, that's 9. So these are the numbers, guys, 5 and 4. So you're going to have plus 5 and plus 4 because all of them, they are positive. So it's plus 5 plus 4. All right. X squared minus 16, that's a difference of two squares because this is a perfect square, and also 16 is a perfect square because it can be written like this, or you can just find the square roots there, but it can be written like x squared minus square root of 16. So you do like this from your calculator, square root of 16 from your calculator, that is 4. So this is same as 4 squared. So I talked about this from difference of two squares. Once you have x and 4 like this, you're going to have x plus 4 into x minus 4. Or the moment you just find this square root, you know that one is going to add, one is going to subtract. So you've got x plus 4, x minus 4 like this. All right. Multiply by, we do the same here. We have to factorize, but as you can see, this one, we have got the same thing again, the coefficient of x squared, which is a 1, just like the previous case here. So that means I'm just going to have my two brackets here, two brackets, x and x here. All right, so factors of 20, but this time they should give us minus 9. Take note. So which factors of 20 that will give us minus 9? Okay, from those numbers 5 and 4, let's just do something here. If we put a minus and a minus here, if we multiply minus 4 times minus 5, it's still 20. But if I add minus 5 plus minus 4, I'm going to obtain minus 9. So the numbers is minus 5 and minus 4. So that's x minus 5, x minus 4. X squared minus 25, that's a difference of two squares. That's a difference of two squares again. So square root of 25, we know that is 5. So we're going to have x plus 5, x minus 5. I hope by now we are used to this difference of two squares, guys. So this is going to be like this. All right. So this is the most important stage where you have to factorize, and once that stage is done, then you can perform like what you did here. So you can cancel as long it is the numerator and the denominator. That's what you're going to do. Let's cancel, guys. What we have here. All right, x plus 4 can cancel. Okay, we've got x plus 5 here, x plus 5 here can cancel as long as numerator denominator. Okay, x minus 4 here and x minus 4 here, they can cancel. Well, seems like we are canceling everything. Okay, x minus 5 x minus 5 can cancel so it means here we just left with 1 1 1 1, so it's going to be 1 over 1, which is a 1 because we cancelled everything was cancelled there. So that's the concept, guys. That's the concept. All right, so it's the same thing even under division, but under division now what you're going to do is that given a over b like this, dividing to x over y like this, whenever you are dividing. Okay, so this is the concept for division. Whenever you are dividing, introduce multiplication. So you introduce multiplication. Okay, that's the multiplication, and invert the second fraction. That is the following fraction, actually the next fraction after division. That is the second fraction. That is like this one. I've got a over b is just going to remain as it is because that's my first fraction. Okay, the moment I introduce a multiplication, this is my second fraction, so I'm going to interchange like this. So this is going to be y over x. So whenever you introduce a multiplication, the second fraction is going to change like that. Just interchange those numbers or those terms that you'll be given there. That's the concept, guys. That's the concept. All right, just like this question here, let's just quickly rush through this question. Someone can maybe learn something here. X squared minus 2x minus 3 like this, everything over, that's 2x plus 2, 2x plus 2 divide by, that's x squared minus x minus 6, something like this, over 3x plus 6, something like that. That is what you're given actually there. So what am I going to do, or how am I going to simplify this? Yes, we know about factorization and so forth, but guys, for you not to make any mistake there, first introduce multiplication and do the factorization later on. All right, so let's introduce multiplication here because we are actually dividing here. So this is gonna multiply. All right, so first fraction as it is, so it's gonna be x squared minus 2x minus 3, everything over 2x plus 2. Multiply. The moment you introduce this multiplication here, there's now a change, so you're gonna invert that fraction. That's now 3x plus 6 on top over this one is now below, which is x squared minus x minus 6. Please make sure you do this first, then later on you can do your factorization. You are now free to do anything because it's now under multiplication, so it's under the concept that we had before. So what are you going to do? Factorize, guys. Let us just factorize. All right, let's factorize here and see what you're going to have. As you can see here, the coefficient of x squared is directly a 1 there, so you're just going to focus with the constant term just like what we had, which is -3 there. All right, do we have any factors of -3 that can give us a -2? Yes, they are there. -3 and 1. Is that so? If I multiply these two numbers, I get -3. If I add these two numbers, I get -2. -3 plus 1, that's -2. So the numbers is -3 and -1. -3 and +1. Okay, so this is gonna give us x minus 3, x minus 1. Okay, let me just write it, x minus 3 and x plus 1. Remember, guys, the issue of factorization. All right, and this one is actually direct here because it's 2x plus 2. 2 is common. It's just a linear expression where 2 is common, so you can actually factor out the 2. That's going to be x, 2x like this. 2x divided by 2, that's going to remain with x. So you're going to have x, and 2 divided by 2, it's going to be 2 over 2 like this, which is going to be plus a 1. So it's plus 1 like this. Okay, times, because we are under multiplication now, so it's easier. Okay, what about this part? What is common here? 3 is common. This is just a linear expression. Just factor out 3, which is common. Then it's 3x divided by 3, which is x. Remember that, guys. 6 divided by 3, which is actually a 2 again. Everything over. This is what you're having here, guys. And what can we do there? Because that's where we are stuck now. All right, still the coefficient of x squared is a 1 there. and we're just gonna have our two brackets just like the other here, two brackets there. All right, then with x and x. Okay, so what are the factors of -6 that we can add to obtain -1? This is -6 and this is -1 there. It's minus x, which means there's a -1 there. Okay, so which are these numbers that we can multiply to get -6, but when added they'll give us -1? All right, that's -3 and 2. Let's just cross check. If I multiply this, that's -6. Yes. If I add this, that's -1. Is that so? These are the numbers, guys. Okay, so that's -3 and 1. All right, -3 and 1 exactly. -3 and +1. So you just cross check from your calculations. Maybe it's gonna be something else there. Then at this stage now the guy can be cancelled. Whoever can cancel there, just cancel the x plus 1, x plus 1. They can cancel. I've got x minus 3 here and x minus 3 here, and I'm stuck. Yeah, that's it, guys. We are stuck here. There's nothing that we can do now. So let's just take what is left in the numerator, 3 into x plus 2, over what is left in the denominator. We've got 2 here and x plus 1. So it's going to be 2 into x plus 1. That's what we have. We can't do anything. Never force things, guys, to say x and x must cancel. No. It's not like that. This is an expression. You're adding between the terms, so there's nothing that you can actually do. Just leave it like that and underline your answer. That will be the one that you'll be having. So let me just do one of and last question that you're gonna have, and you just have to try as much questions as possible. I hope, guys, you can do these questions. I trust that you can actually, I hope you can actually do this. Okay, let's just do this question 11. But as you can see, I've got so many questions, so I want you guys to try as much questions there as possible. All right, as much questions as possible. So there we've got x squared minus x, which is actually over x squared plus x minus 2 divided by. So if you have a question, guys, on those questions that is having a challenge, you can simply work from the basics. Okay, work from the basics of factorization, because mostly that's where it might come from, the problem there, from the basics of factorization there. All right, so this is actually x squared, guys. Okay, so the first thing, we have a division here, so let's remove this guy here. Let's remove that division there. Introduce what? Multiplication. So this is gonna be, okay, let me just write in this ink, no problem. So the first thing, I'm not doing anything, just to introduce multiplication so that I don't confuse myself. So I'm just going to introduce multiplication, then I invert this fraction. So it's going to be x squared minus 3x plus 2 over x squared minus 4 times x minus 1 over x. This is already under multiplication, so there's nothing that's going to change. It's all about this part here, which had a division. So this is the fraction that changed this one, which was having a division. Okay, everything is now under multiplication, so now you can perform your factorization, guys. Okay, what is common here? X is common, so you can factor out x. That's x squared divided by x, which is x, minus x divided by x, which is a 1. Okay, over the equation of x squared, x, that's a 1 there, guys. So remember, two brackets. Okay, x and x here. All right, so what are the factors of -2 that we are going to add to obtain a +1? There's a 1 there, a +1. So which factors of 2 are we talking about here? -2 actually is 2 and -1. 2 times -1 is -2, but 2 plus -1, that's a 1. So you've got 2 and -1. So these are the factors here, +2 and -1. All right, times. All right, I'm gonna have the same thing here, two brackets again, because the equivalent of x squared is a 1. All right, but this time I need factors of 2, which are going to give me -3. Okay, it's a try and error, guys. 2, so it's actually -2 and -1 like this. -2 times -1, that's a +2. minus 2 plus minus 1, that's minus 3. I'm rushing this because I've actually talked about these guys, and you can actually tell what I'm saying here. So it's x minus 2, x minus 1. All right. What about in the denominator here? We've got difference of two squares. We talked about this question before. It gave us x plus 2 into x minus 2, like this, okay, times x minus 1 over x. That's what you're going to have. So as you can see, guys, everything there is lying on factorization. Factorization, that's the basic thing that you're supposed to actually know. And if you do not understand that concept, please make sure that you watch the videos on factorization that we worked on. All right, let's just cancel here. All right, what else? What else, guys? What else? Okay, we've got a... So don't be tempted like here. Don't be tempted. These two cannot cancel because they are both in the denominator, okay? And also here, don't be tempted. These two are both in the numerator, so they cannot cancel. But this one and this one can cancel. Yeah, this one and this one can cancel. Also, this one and this one can cancel. Okay, so like I said, don't be tempted, guys. These two guys here cannot cancel, so they can just multiply each other. That's gonna be x minus 1 into x minus 1 over, and this is gonna be x plus 2 and x plus 2, just like that. So it's gonna be x plus 2, just like that. So as you can see, guys, that's what we can only do there. That's what we can only do. There's nothing more that we can have. Okay, so just cross check, guys, if there was any part that maybe we did in either way, so that you can just work on many questions and revisions. But that's what we are having on these typical questions. So that's what you just need to have or to know. Revise much questions from your question papers and revisions, and you'll definitely understand more from this concept that we are talking about here. So you have to be very, very familiar with these typical questions actually in your revision. So somehow they can just ask some just typical questions like this. I find most people confusing when they are working with these linear expressions. These are the easiest one that you are supposed to know. Okay, just introduce multiplication just like the previous part there. That's 3x minus 3y times, you just invert just like the previous part. That's gonna be 3x plus 3y over 6x plus 6y. Never be tempted to cancel these numbers, just factorize. Okay, difference of two squares, because that's the format of difference of two squares. So you're gonna have x plus y into x minus y, like this, over 3 is common, so you can factor out 3 here. So if you remove 3, you're going to be left with x minus y, like this. Okay, times, you remove 3 here, you're going to be left with x plus y, like this. 6 is common here, you can factor out 6, you're left with x plus y again. So now you can do the same things that we had there. You can cancel just like this, this and this. So even the numbers, they can cancel each other like this one. Okay, so you just left on top with x plus, so this is gonna give us x plus y on top there, and in the denominator just left with 6, because it's the same as 6 times 1, because this and 3 cancelled. So you just left with a 6 there, just like that. Okay, so as you can see, guys, that's how they can ask these questions and what you're supposed to do actually. So that's it, guys, from us on African Motives, working on mathematics for N2. So we shall meet again on the last application, which is on addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions. Then we know that we are done for this particular topic that we're working on. And as you can see, guys, algebra, factorization, that's the core part of mathematics N2. Factorization, this type of equation, which is actually mostly on question number 2. That's where most of you lose your marks there, on question number 2. And if you know that and you can attempt that question number 2, you are guaranteed to pass the exam. That's actually where the secret of mathematics N2 is. So that's it, guys, from us on African Motives. Till we meet again.